Good morning, aspirant and officers. I hope everyone is doing good. Today, I am going to discuss all these topics. Before that, I was just writing the topic, and when I was coming, I was reading some news about the ethics and everything. Then I decided one IAS officers issue. Then I thought that we will start with the ethics issue also, because ethics is also important. Teaching the ethics is very easy, but following the ethics is very difficult. So overall, we can discuss the ethics what exactly, but before that I want to convey you the message that if you are teaching something, then you should first inculcate, be the change, as Gandhiji said, be the change rather than teaching the change. Okay, be the change. Why this is important? It is commonly said that those who are living in the glass house, they should not throw the stone on others houses. Okay, one very famous IAS officer who wrote the book on ethics principles, and very famous with the couple and everything, recently was got in the one controversy. Controversy was some land issue. Okay, land issue, in that giving the permit, giving the government land lease something from the Madhya Pradesh. Okay, Madhya Pradesh state, he is from the other state, but he is serving in the Madhya Pradesh state. So why, despite having this much ethics principle, teaching ethics, writing on ethics book, why he failed to implement his own principles? And what are the issues which are grappled with overall this civil services ethics issue? Ethics, morality, attitude, positive attitude, all these are good on the book, but just think about what exactly he have written one very good book, but is not following that. He is not following his own principles. As Gandhiji said, we have the means our greed. Earth have sufficient to feel the need, but not the greed. And individuals greed. This in the AI world of this technology, digital age, we are falling in the trap of the greed. The minimalistic lifestyle, we forgot our minimalistic lifestyle. See our tribal people, see our culture, see our composite culture, see it is a very tragic incident. So first we will discuss the what exactly ethical issues in that particular incidents, and what are the way forward to deal such incidences or avoid such conflict of interest. Okay, so first is conflict of interest between the personal interest and the public interest. Conflict of interest. Okay, this means the giving the preference to the own interest rather than the public interest. Then moral mutation, or you can say the moral diffusion of responsibility. Diffusion of responsibility. Lack of dedication. Lack of dedication. Okay, so all this, these are the just 1 or 2 3. And corruption, as perennial corruption. Gandhi said that corruption, politics without principles, the corruption without the virtues, values, knowledge. This is one of the sin. Corruption, doing the corruption. Even the public officers, despite either they are doing it or not, convicted by the law or not, it doesn't matter, but it seems to be they should be neutral, fair, impartial. Okay, absence of integrity, absence of conflict of interest, giving the more preference. There are 51 crore. This is the not official, means now this is official 51 crore profit they have given in a 4,000 rupees some land issue. Okay, so my point is not will this be in the proof in the court of law? That doesn't matter. Ethics started, instead of breaking the law, you are thinking to break the law. Ethics started in your mind. Ethics start with your own thinking. Ethics start with your own attitude. Ethics start with your own emotions. It doesn't mean that some certain things are legally allowed. That means you should necessarily do that things. Or it doesn't mean that some certain things are allowed and you ethically are not allowed, and you are doing that things. That means you are wrong. You as a person cannot be distinguished from your personal life and public. There is too much coherence. Legally, it is different. Legally, personal life and professional life is different. But what you are doing in the personal life, that will ultimately show the repercussion on your personal life. Okay, and ethics start the balancing both. We have the first topic, human interference and ethics. So I just wanted to discuss this topic, and all these issues you can mention. This is a classical case study. Being you are the supervisor, being you are the investigative officer, how you can handle this issue. What are the way forward to, means what are the issues, then what are the stakeholders involved in the particular this case issue, the IAS officer, the relative, the larger public interest, the RTI activist. Okay, now to avoid such situation, what we as an officer can done, and what are the rules regulation talks about the prevention of this conflict of interest situation. Okay, so what are the way forwards? Okay, and Kantian ethics, Kant deontology always talks about giving preference to the human rights. Human is the fundamental. Human should be the end, not the mean. First, we have the RTI Act 2005, which talks about the accountability, transparency. Then we have the Civil Services Code of Conduct Rules, 1964, All India Civil Services. Then we have adopted certain principles from the UN Code of Conduct of 1997. Okay, so these are the legal provisions which talks, even the Whistleblower Act, even the Official Secrecy Act. All these are talks about the protection and the responsibility of the officer, authorized person, to be accountable, to be open to the public. Okay, but as an individual, even though you are officer, you are individual, and what you can do as an individual. Okay, there are simple ways which came into my mind. That is simple. Avoid personal engagement in official time. Okay, maybe some person will disagree with this, but this is a good, means this you can avoid. And second, take or keep a records of all of your engagement. Even I know these are the not new ways, but keeping the record is very, very important. Keep the records, your meetings, keep tracking any corruption incidences happening in your department or under your jurisdiction. Okay, you should not indulge in any such kind of issue. You should lead from the front and be the change. And this is only one life. You are not going, if you earn money also. There was yesterday one incident, I was reading the 5 crore cash found in the one of the officers house, house from the Chandigarh, Haryana. Okay, so my point is this: this is only one life. At least contribute little bit. We know the emancipation. We don't know the Hindu philosophy. Everyone follow the karma yoga. So my point is do good karmas, deeds. Believe in your deeds. You are already in very high position. Government is paying you very high, very good amount of salary along with the facilities. Then also you are indulging in such thing. No, I know there is a pressure. There is things, but you should be able to manage. And once any damage happen to your reputation, it is not about your reputation. You are not representing as a one individual. You are representing one complete system. That is the administrative system. It is hampering the reputation of the system, not you as an individual. Then what is use of writing ethics book? What is use of teaching the philosophy if you are not following your own single principle? Legal provisions are there. You can follow your own at an individual level, but what exactly you want to do? You should decide this. You should make a plan. You should follow it. Don't fall in the trap of these greedy things. Ultimately, I know money is not everything. Money is necessary. Money is necessary, but not the everything. Do remember this. Money is necessary, but money is not everything. And being being on the high position, you have that money to suffice your life subsistence. We have around 2.5% of India's population is under extreme poverty. You are not from that. You are already in the 2% of very elite group. Only one request I would say, don't indulge in such kind of things. Don't indulge in such kind of things. Okay. By this note, we will start our today's discussion. Okay. Our today's discussion is about first today's World Food Processing Day, and we are going to discuss the India's food processing industry, everything, its government related food processing industry schemes and everything, because this is a GS3. Okay, GS3 part, GS3. In GS3 agriculture, we have food processing industry, that upstream downstream challenges. Okay, food processing industry. Why this is? Because we have the too much diversity about the food processing and everything. Okay, now World Food Day, building a nourished and new sustainable nation. Okay, this is the theme of this year's new. The World Food observed on the every 16th of October. Yesterday, that means we have celebrated this collective responsibility. In this domain, we are going to discuss the scope, location, significance, challenges, and way forward of the Indian food processing industry. First is scope. Let's start with the scope. Okay, this is World Day, but do remember we are discussing to Indian context. Why Indian context? Because in GS3 we have the direct syllabus point food processing, and this year GS1 they asked the changing the food habits because of globalization. Okay, so might be this is important. I mean, this is important for GS1 also. Okay, but more focus we will should India's progress in the food and nutrition security. Okay, so remarkable stride. India's 3.2 million buffer stock. Overall, it is 5 MMT million metric tons buffer stock is there as of 2024-25. Okay, this is the economic survey number. Okay, MMT. Do remember, LMT is there, LMT there. Okay, this is 60 million metric tons. The geography has risen the milk. India is largest producer of milk pulses. Okay, milk pulses, organic farm product, and we have very good scope. Very good scope. I would say ki India have that like vast nature, vast culture of the food diversity. Okay, let me draw the map of India. If you go to the northeast, here you will find the meat, bamboo processing, okay, vegetables processing. If you shrimp farming, Andhra Pradesh fisheries, seaweed farming, here once again the fish production, spices. If you go to the Kannada, then Kannada, Uttar Kannada district, you will find the mango pulp industry. Maharashtra, if you go to the onion processing, grape processing. Okay, Gujarat, if you go to the milk processing, Rajasthan and dairy product, Rajasthan, Haryana dairy product, then processed food, ready to eat, apple processing. Here you in Kashmir there is What is that famous one? Purple Revolution, Kesar. So in the like poultry processing, meat processing, pulses in the central India. So this is the overall diversity of India, means location and scope of India's food processing industry. Okay, and this is, see, northeast, if you go to the northeast, you will get the very good fish, means meat farming. Then the pork farming is also very famous. Their pork cultivation of the pork means not cultivation, sorry, particularly the rearing of the pork, then the bamboo, then the vegetables, rubber. Okay, so all these are the processing very hub. Northeast is very diverse, and that they are processing bamboo, vegetables, meat. Then if you come to the eastern coast, most famous, they are already coastal country, the coastal state. So shrimp farming is aquaculture, then fish farming, coromandel, seagrass. Even Andhra Pradesh is most famous for the fisheries. Similarly, go to the western coast, then you will get to know that spices, most of the spices are famous there, processing. Then if you go to the just above the Kerala, Karnataka, coffee, most famous Baba Budan Hills coffee, then the mango. If you go to the just above, Alfonso mango of Goa is most famous. Alfonso mango has the GI tag. Then if you go to the Maharashtra side, then you will go to the grapes farming, grapes processing, onion, banana, oranges, orange pulp. So these are the overall comprehensive scope. The milk, Ananda, even the Nandani milk of Karnataka. Okay. So all these are the very famous example, and this is scope of food processing industry in India. Okay. This is a very large, diverse scope which makes India a hub for the food processing. India food processing sector, if you ask me, contribute around 7% of manufacturing GDP. Okay, and food processing is a bridge between the primary sector to the secondary manufacturing sector. It employs 90 million direct and indirect workers. 90 million. Do remember this. Okay. Now tell me, what is the significance of this food processing industry? So now we will discuss the significance of food processing industry. Significance. Okay. For economy, employment generation, woman empowerment, rural development, tribal development, export market capturing, FDI, and fish. India is second largest. Advantage of the strengthening the strong areas. So all these are the significance of food processing. First, economy contributes the around 7 to 11% of GDP in manufacturing sector. Okay, then the employment generation, around 90 million population is engaged in food processing. Then woman empower, out of 90 million, means around 8 to 9 million are females who are engaged in this food processing industry. Then rural development, most of the food processing MSME units are set up in the rural areas, automatically contributes for the rural development. Okay, then trade, means particularly the development of the tribal. If you see, minor forest produce contributes vastly to the tribals, vastly to the particularly the development of. One best example is 1800 crore trade done by the food processing through the minor forest produce, honey processing, everything by the trifed in 2024-25 financial year. Okay, then export, India, Apeda, Empeda, all this contributes too much for the overall food processing industry's significance means this is the significance of food processing. So India is the second largest producer of sugar, tea. India contributes the vast market of the tea, and in this sector, FDI is getting more attracted because this is a sunrise sector. Okay, this is a sunrise sector, and this sunrise sector rising helps to build a very strong economy. To harness this potential, we have launched the certain government initiatives. First government initiative, National Food Security Mission. This ensures food security promotion. This directly means if food security is there, then this automatically will transform into the high food processing. Okay, the next one is National Food Security Act, also guaranteeing the nutrition significance. Then Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, providing the fund. Okay, because this launched during 2020, providing the free grains. Okay, free grains. This ultimately helps to promote the food processing. Okay, next one is Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. Then the Pradhan Mantri PM Poshan Abhiyan. Then one more thing is PM Sampada Mega Food Park Scheme, the Cluster Approach Development Scheme, the Group Farming, Cultivation Farming Scheme. Okay, all these are the very important scheme launched by the government of India to ensure the food process, to ensure the strengthen the food processing, and to ensure the nutritional security. So these are the schemes related to the nutritional security. Now tell me, rice fortification initiative is there, then modernization of food distribution system, then supplementary interventions, open market sale, mission Atmanirbharta in the pulses. Okay, then the India's global food leadership, world food. Okay, then the Indian Thali in global spotlight. Okay, do remember the World Health Living Planet report highlight the India's importance. What are the challenges? What are the challenges? What are the challenges? First one, informal nature. Informal nature, lack of state-of-art technology, okay, then small MSMEs, small and marginal farmers also you can mention, MSMEs also there. Okay, so 90% units are small. Then if you go to the government side, export limitations are there. Then logistic cost is very high, particularly perishable goods. Okay, then perishable nature of goods, then the WTO's regulations. See, challenges first is from the producer side, cluster based approach. There was an issue of chips, potato chips in Gujarat with Lay company, means contract farming. Then this automatically the farmer level issue, processing level issue, government level issue, and global issues. This is the 4 dimensions through which you can cover your overall entire food processing industry challenges. Let's discuss the first, how the informal nature, because if you see 81% of India's economy is informal. Okay, this informal nature pushes the farmers to not get that much channelized, formalization is not there. Then the second one is the lack of state-of-art technology. If technology is not available, technology is absent, then what is exactly the impact? Because you will not able to process. Even see the Japan, which is the means producing less fish than India, but processing, availability of state-of-art technology, leading to them make a very global producer, global exporter of the fishes. Okay, India is the second largest fish producing country, but because of the lack of state-of-art technology, we are not able to preserve them. This is a perishable nature of good. Perishable nature. Vegetables we have to transport. because lack of availability infrastructure, logistic cost, the cost of transportation is very high. From farm to plate, it is very difficult. That journey intermediate, farmers are not getting benefit. Food processing industries are not getting that much input. Demand is very less because of the high cost, high input cost. The next one is small industries. Most of the food processing industries are very small, like 90% are micro units, and they are set up in the rural areas. So connectivity is lacking. Sub basic, if connectivity is lacking, then the marketing cost will be very high. Marketing cost will be high if you are in the rural area. Automatically, your input cost will be high. The reason is this, because the connectivity issue. Connectivity issue is there. Okay. Then this is the farmers. Then what are the government side? Government came up with a policy inconsistency. Food Security Act manage the food security, then the ban on the GM crop. Because of that, we are not able to produce high yield. And if food product are not that much high yield, then there will be the first preference to the subsistence. Then it will come to the overall. Then it will come to the processing. Then government sudden ban in 2020, despite having the huge stock, government banned the export of sugar, export of the onion. Okay, and if you see, since 2014-15, last 10-15 years, the prices of all commodity has increased. All commodity. Take the example of each and every commodity and see the commodity, food processed commodities. Like, take example of sugar. Take example of oranges. Take example of orange pulp. Take example of dairy products. Are they getting that much price? No, price volatility is there because of the government in certain policies. Now, then the logistic issue, export, there is export ban, export issues are there. Even we have dedicated authorities for this, but they are not exporting that much because of the WTO rules. WTO rules use sanitary, phytosanitary barriers and natural barriers which stop the export of the Indian food processes, and the global market competition is already very high. USA is very adamant. They are forcing India to open our market, food processing market, to the US's food processing market. Just think about US's the food processing. They are producing very large scale. How we will able to compete with them? This is also issue. Okay, so do remember these are the challenges. Now, what we can do, what government has done to address these challenges? Way forward. Okay. At a producer side, at a government side, global level, global level and cluster side. Okay, cluster app. At a producer side, government is providing them Mega Food Park scheme, PM Sampada scheme. Okay, developing the clusters. There are around 350, 360 plus clusters developed. Food processing industry clusters developed. The government is supporting them. Government giving the exams. PIL scheme to invest more, opening the FDI. You can say FDI, PIL, PLI. Sorry, all these are contributing the food processing around. Food processing industry is gaining more momentum. More FDI is influencing the food processing. The Contract Farming Act, which directly guarantees the food processing from the plate to farm. Then the strengthening the producers, farmer, making the farmers as a producers. Then government supporting around 13,000 farm FPOs, farmer producing organizations. Okay, so these are the initiatives taken by the government of India to promote the food processing in India. Okay, even the global level, India have signed India is a member of International Grain Council. India is voluntarily supporting its support to the African countries. Okay, so these are the way forwards. Means these are the way forward through which government can tackle the issue of food processing industry, because food processing availability of market, doing FTA. Recently, India have signed the FTA with the UK. India have signed the FTA with UAE. The main reason is for this, to promote the food export, because we should strengthen our strong areas, and our strong areas is food processing industry. We should adopt the international practices, we should adopt the new technology. Even the government should rethink on the introducing the GM food crops. Already our market is fully overlapped with the GM food crops, but we are not producing, our farmers are not getting. What is California apple? California apple is GM. They have GM variety. We are having it, but we are not producing it because of regulations. We should amend such things. Okay, and this is not about only food processing industry. If food processing industry is, its repercussions, positive implications can be seen in the elevation of the poverty, rural development. So significance is there, as I mentioned. Okay, food processing industry will guarantee the nutritional security. This nutritional security becomes the paramount for India to achieve its goal of Vikasit Bharat. Okay, so this is the overall about the food processing industry. Now, this is a PM portion. You can go through this act everything. We are moving towards the one of the important significant aspect of how the food processing industry in tribal they are developed, and how the development is supporting the tribal people. And one of the part of this food processing industry is the Adi Mahotsav, organized by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs in Delhi, and that initiative is going to be inaugurated by the Honorable President of India. Today is that initiative, and now this is our news. How the tribal development in India, what are their challenges? Attend national conference on the Adi Karma Yogi Abhiyan. Adi Karma Yogi Abhiyan. Okay, so do remember this Adi Karma Yogi Abhiyan. What exactly this mission is, when this was started, as conflict concept, the two flagship PM Janman, and in this domain we will discuss the overall how the tribal development related scheme. First of all, the tribal related data. Officers might be aware about the how many tribal population is there in India. Can anyone tell me? Around 8 million, 8 crore populations is there in India which are tribal. And if all the tribals are coming together, population, there will be 13th largest populous country. Let me write down the tribal related facts. Okay, first one is 8 crore population, then 706 recognized STs. In that also 75 are PVTGs, around 18 plus state and UTs have tribal population. Do remember, all UTs and state, all state don't have the tribal population, means the tribal population. So these are the fact related. And if you see the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, NSST, okay, Ministry of Tribal Affairs, NSST, TriFed, all these are the initiatives to promote the tribal development. Okay, there are legal initiatives, there are regulatory initiatives, there are even the Panchayat Raj PESA Act, Schedule 6, Schedule 7. Okay, but do remember, whenever question will come, there are two types of question will come on the tribals. In GS2, vulnerable sections, ST will come. Okay, and in GS1, tribes, diversity of India question will come. So even in GS3 typhoid functions has asked GS3. Okay, so do remember, if any question will come, whatever the dimensions I am going to discuss, that is more than sufficient. Okay, so what exactly the diversity tribe means? What define the tribes in India? What any official definition? Okay, article 342. Okay, article 342 mentions that the tribes are scheduled tribes are those tribes which are notified the President of India executive order by executive order. And recently there was Hathi tribe from the Himachal Pradesh is been added in this new tribal list. So now tribals are this. Do remember, these are the district in India and the same the tribes. Okay, 7 not 8. This is the Hathi recent addition. Do remember, initial list was prepared by the President of India. If any amendment should be there to that list, done by the Parliament, not by the state legislature. Okay, so what exactly the tribes I have discussed? What is the tribe? Now, what are the constitutional provisions related to the tribe? Article 350 to 342 first, then article this one 5th and 6th schedule, then the article 46, article 274, article 244 2. Okay, to be specific, article 244 2 talks about the tribal culture. Okay, these are the constitutional provisions related to the tribal in India, and these some talks about the autonomy, some talk about the cultural preservation. Even article 29, 30 guarantees the preservation of unique culture. Okay, so these are the constitutional provisions. What are the institutional provisions then? As you know, the TRIFAD, Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Okay, MOTA 2021 prelims direct question. Okay, then TRIFAD, then NCST, then Finance Corporation to support the STs. Okay, these are the institutional provisions which are dealing with the tribal population in India. Do remember, these are the institutional, constitutional, institutional, now legal provisions. What are exactly the legal provisions? Okay, legal provisions are PESA, then Protection of Rights Act, Tribal SC Act 2005, Prevention of Atrocities Act, SC Atrocities Act 1989. Okay, Civil Rights Act 1955. Okay, apart from this, anything which I am forgetting, but these are the legal provisions which protect the tribals in India. Okay, tribals in India. Now, what are the significance of tribal communities? Before that, we will discuss the what are the schemes launched by the government of India. PM Janman, PVTG recognition. Okay, then Eklavya scheme, Pradhan Mantri Residential Eklavya scheme, Eklavya residential scheme, recognition of minor forest produce. Okay, right, then establishment of the TRIFAD for the guarantee protection of the culture. The scheme is Finance Corporation of STs. Okay, so these are the PM Janman. Even the Janajatiya Divas on 15th of November every year we celebrate the Janajatiya Dharti Appa on the occasion of the birth anniversary of Birsa Munda. Okay, so these are the legal, illegal, institutional, constitutional, and policy measures taken to promote the welfare of the tribals in India. Okay, I have mentioned the data, I have mentioned the schemes. Now, significance of the tribal community, custodian of the biodiversity conservation, then the rich cultural and linguistic heritage. Okay, rich culture and heritage. If you see, tribals preserve the diverse forms of the language. GI tag like Odisha, Gond, painting, Madhya Pradesh, Pattachitra, who are living in forest. Despite this forest, they are not destroying the forest. This is the unique feature of the tribals in India, not in India, across the world. We, the people from the urban, from the rural area, we are destroying the forest and we are criticizing about the climate change, this thing, we are displacing the people. But millions years, tribal people are staying, worshipping in the forest god, but they are not destroying, they are conserving the forest. Think about a Bishnoi tribe. Think recently very most famous Kantara movie. Kantara tribe. It talks about the tribal culture in the southern Kannada district. Tulu tribe. Okay. Tulu is a language there, in particular the southern Karnataka part and northern Kerala part. So just think about who is destroying. And they plays very significant role only, not only the ecosystem balance, but overall the preservation of the tradition culture. We are adopting the blindly the Western culture. And the original people, aboriginal, they are protecting the tribe. They are protecting the culture. So this is the significance of tribe. Now, economic and agriculture contributors, they play very important role in the sustainable agriculture, organic farming. Okay, even they contribute for the minor forest produce. I have told you the best example from the Gondia district, 1800 crore minor forest produce in just 1 year. So why, despite this much contribution, they are facing n number of challenges. Okay, n number of challenges. I would say ki climate change adaptation, traditional. Let me discuss the ecotourism and scheme. I have discussed the things. Okay, I am going to discuss directly the Jan Dhan Dhan Eklavya residential address scheme. Okay, now Pradhan Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana. This is the issues and challenges tribal communities are facing in India. Now tell me how these challenges, despite they are contributing the oranges, despite their schemes are there, everything is there, policy measure, constitutional provisions are there. Despite this poverty, if you see 30% poverty, tribal peoples are poor. Best is Ali Rajpur block in the Madhya Pradesh is the poorest block, okay, in India, and is a mostly tribal population. Do remember malnutrition. Malnutrition is a more prominent. 80% children are malnutrition in the tribal. Just think about 8 crore population. Out of that 80 crore, how they will protect the culture, cultural identity, how they will protect the, how they preserve the language. If their children are malnourished, then land alienation and displacement. The best example, since 2005 Forest Right Act guarantees claims were 52 lakh. Out of that only 23 lakh has been granted and rest are rejected. Can you imagine the intensity, and can you imagine the land alienation because of mining, because of this law, displacement without any provision of the rehabilitation. Since 2005, 52 lakh claims on the land has been done. Applications are received by the district magistrate DM, and out of that only 23 lakh has been given the land grants, land titles. Rest are either pending, rejected. This is the intensity of a land alienation. If you are displacing the person from their origin, just think about what will be the mental traumatic impact. But this is a reality. This is the reality, and that's why government is talking about the elimination of Naxalism. Elimination of Naxalism does not mean just making them to disarm. It is a government responsibility to support them, make them economically prosperous. Okay, so these are the then education and health gaps. 59% literacy. Think about the PVTGs. Just think about the PVTGs, what PVTGs are doing. 75 PVTGs, out of that 59% literacy rate is there, 59% low literacy rate compared to the national average. Healthcare access, thus we are providing any healthcare access to them, thus we are providing any healthcare facilities. Ayushman Bharat, we talks about the Ayushman Bharat. Does this Ayushman Bharat reaches to the last mile Gold community, the Santhal community, okay, Katkari in the Maharashtra, does they are getting the benefit of this Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Bharat scheme? Does we have any data? No, we don't have any data. My point is these are the issues faced by the tribals because of institutional gap, information gap, health gap, educational gap. We are not able to take democracy to their doorstep. Actually, we are bringing to them towards us and we are displacing them. This is the issue. Okay. Then market exploitation. One of the most important point. Tribals, they never exploit the forest. They will conserve the forest and they will just take what is required for them for their subsistence. But recent trend has shown that the commercialization of forest produce, recognition of minor forest produce, all these are very, very important development. All this development pushing India, pushing the overall tribals of India in very poor conditions. Exploitation is there. They are producing, but they are not getting the benefit. Okay, so market exploitation. Then inadequate political decentralization. Now tell me, if PESA Act is there, how much the tragedy of PESA, out of 10 state, out of 10 tribal state which have the scheduled areas, only 3 state has decentralized the power. Out of, do remember, out of 10 state, okay, out of 10 state, only 3 state have decentralized the power, and despite the power of Gram Sabha is very, very limited. State executive power of the state extend to their, even though for the namesake they have the judicial and the legislative power, but no Gram Sabha till now has proactively prohibited, except the Malkangiri issue. Okay, Malkangiri issue that was rejected, the coal mine 2015 issue, Vedanta forest. But despite that, that was too much criticism. There is a conflict between the tribal security and the national economic security. Okay, if you see, most of the economic resources, minerals, they are located in the tribal areas. Okay, they are located in the tribal areas, and because of that, tribal are displaced, and this displacement is not followed by the rehabilitation. You are just displacing the tribals, but you are not supporting them politically, not empowering them to take some actions, because there is a less political decentralization. Okay, so do remember, these are the inadequate political decentralization. Out of 10, only 4 states. Now, cultural erosion, rapid urbanization, modernization threats. Because of this Gen Z generation, most of the time, this tribal population is facing the issue of cultural erosion, and this is one's culture, language. Out of there was one UNESCO report, most of the tribal languages are on the verge of extinction. This is not a good sign because language is the first prime most identity of the any culture. Okay, but because of modernization and migration, this tribal is facing the erosion. So what we can do? Local governments. How? This is suggested by Zaza Committee. Zaza Committee 2013. How we can strengthen the local governance? We can strengthen the local governance by providing them more executive, more freedom, providing them more fund. Okay, so this can be done through more funding, more executive authority. The next one, inclusive economic growth. Vanadhan Kendras are providing the Krishi Vikas, providing them the economic opportunities through providing them the education. Okay, economic inclusive economic development. We have the idea of inclusive development, that inclusive development should not exclude the 8% of India's population. Okay, 8 crore population of India. So this inclusive economic development can be done through the government scheme like PM Janman. Okay, Dharti Abba scheme, providing the financial support, special grant under 244, 275 article and 282. Okay, then educational and skill building. Eklavya Residential School, Modern Skill Training, and ITI. There was a report like why the tribals are surrendering in the Bakstar region, because around 1,000 plus ITI centers has been opened in the Bastar region, tribal region, which was once upon a time more predominant by the Naxalite. Okay, this is very best example, case study, how we can develop and how we can develop the tribals. Not only tribal, we can bring the peace, prosperity and security, provide them education, provide them healthcare facilities. Okay, PM Janman is the best example in this domain, or the holistic idea, peer recognition of their culture, providing their produce the basic price, that is my means MSP. Already minor forest produce are getting the MSP. Recognition of their rights, reducing their exploitation. Okay, once we reduce their exploitation, it will automatically help them to be found inclusive with their own community, inclusive with the Constitution of India, and ultimately the objective of social democracy will be realized. Okay, another the market financial access and healthcare outreach, deploy the mobile health units, telemedicine facilities, remote area. Then how market e-commerce platform, enam is the best example. Enam should not be limited to the farmers, it should be extended to the tribal farmers also, because this is ultimately going to help overall the development of the farmer, development of the tribal communities, inclusive development, inclusive growth. Then the next one is the cultural and economic preservation. If cultural and economic preservation is there, recognition under article 9, 29 and 30, they will not feel alienated, they will not feel so-called the ISO foreign land, they will feel that this is our land, they should preserve, and they has been preserving this land since ancient. Because of some tribal reason, government did not declare the indigenous people, but government do have declared the PVTGs. Recognition criteria, Devar Commission, NCST, taking care of their rights, taking care of their benefits. Recently the government Supreme Court gave the judgment that their subcategorization benefit fruits of the reservation should be spread to all the tribal people, not particular the 2 or 3% of the tribal sections. Tribal is not a homogeneous identity. There are means around the tribal diversity is more than the India's overall diversity. Do remember this. Okay, then climate resilience and sustainable livelihood practices. These are the important factors which makes India a really a good land, for the very happy land for the tribal people. They contributing the tribal, and this will help to reduce the overall climate change, India's carbon sequestration, because ultimately tribals are the builders of overall India's development. Okay, they are the original peoples, indigenous peoples. Okay, do remember the schemes, what data related to tribals, how many tribals are there, what is the official definition. UPSC had asked the question earlier on these tribals. Okay, by these notes I will end my discussion on the tribals. Okay, and last topic, small topic I will discuss is the creative destruction. Because in this creative destruction idea in economy has given, has got the recognition through Nobel Prize in the economy. Okay, what is this idea? What is the significance? Okay, we are going to this two dimensions only. So first of all, what is creative destruction? Guys, do remember this creative destruction, this idea got the economic prices, but this is not a new concept. In Indian mythology, we have the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha, which talks, and the Shiva's third eye, which talks about the destruction and creation. Destruction and creation. Okay, that same idea in economy have gained the significant movement. That movement is recognized by the Nobel Committee. Okay, Norwegian Committee on Nobel, and they have decided to give what is creative destruction in economy. It means that over the period of time, new opportunity will emerge and the old opportunity will automatically creative destruction means certain, particularly this phone consider, earlier Nokia was there, Nokia was destructed and this was created, this phone smartphone was created. Once upon time Nokia 1G 2G were the most famous. Okay, and this automatically lead to the creation, destruction lead to the creation, creative destruction. Okay, and this idea is not a old, this no idea is not a new, modern. Schumpeter initially used this, Joseph Schumpeter. In modern time I'm talking about, in 1940s introduced this term about the capitalism. Even the Karl Marx, how Karl Marx described the historical materialism, historical dialecticalism through the evolution of the society. Evolution of how serfdom, so then the slave, okay, master slave, then the labor, has not, the evolution. And Indian mythology also talks about this creative destruction. Even Shiva, we have said that whenever there will be the certain negative things happen, the God will there, God will destroy that things and will create the news. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha doing their simultaneous work. One is creating, one is destroyer. God of destroyer, God of creation. Okay, so same idea got the recognition through Nobel Committee. Okay, this is a creative destruction. That means for over the obligations means obligations be particular over the period of certain things will reduce its importance, and why this will reduce, to get the means to, because of new things. Okay, this is a creative destruction idea. What is the significance of this? Take example, as I mentioned, this phone earlier, the once upon time in during the 2000, Nokia was the most famous. Nokia was the most famous, but because of the smartphone, Nokia become the destructed, and this overall impact the economy. How this impact the economy? Just think significance of creative destruction. Creative destruction. Just think about, initially we talks about the chat GPT. Okay, now AI is there, now perplexity is there. Okay, this is very short term, but does chat GPT has been replaced by the earlier we used to talk about just Google, now AI Google mode is there. Okay, and this not only impacting the one domain, but it is overall changing the face of economy. Take example of the trade. Trade in economy. Earlier, what commodities used to trade? Now, what commodity? From the physical commodity to the digital data. Now, in trade, most famous data. Data is traded on the international platform. Okay, data is openly traded. Information called as fuel. Does information got this importance earlier? No. Now, why? Because of the advancement of the new technology, because of the advancement of the creative destruction ideas. And in this domain, certain jobs will be replaced by the other jobs. Employment, creative destruction impact not only trade, employment also. But does it vanishing, replacing the complete earlier job? No, it is providing the new job also, new opportunity. See, most AI, India's service sector, 52% contributes in India's economy. Why? Because of this IT services, IT revolution in India and India's workforce compared to China. Okay, then how it can manage the market and everything? What earlier used to do more focus on the market, now what is the focus? There is any barrier except the physical certain barriers. Market is fully open. There is a internationalization of the economy. This is third importance. Fourth importance, giving, acknowledging the upskilling of individual economy. Countries which are struggling, which have the competitive advantage, Ricardo's principle of the competitive advantage has been replaced by now the creative destruction. You have the advantage, you will get the benefit, but that benefit is not only limited to you only. Think about the Australia, think about the New Zealand, which having the full dairy sector. And in dairy sector, because of the modernization, dairy sector is upgrading. There is less lack of manpower needed in the dairy sector in Australia and New Zealand. They are adopting the new technology, but that new technology is creating new job instead of and replacing the job at the ground level, other jobs. So replacing one, creating one, balancing both. The second law of thermodynamics. First law, energy is neither be created nor be generated, just change the form. So Nobel Committee has recognized the idea of this creative destruction and given the Nobel Prize in the economy to the idea of creative destruction. This idea of creative destruction is not confined to the economy, it is confined to the social domain also. Just think about our changing friend circle. How we have evolved from the starting to the one person to, there are very family friends and means family and relatives, those who are persistent, but other things. Similarly, the creative destruction does not change, replace the fundamentals of economy, but it just provide the alternate opportunities and replace the opportunities which are obsolete. Okay. So do remember what is creative destruction, its significance, because there may be chances that there will be one question in prelims or mains on the creative destruction. Okay. By this note, I will end our today's discussion. We will meet on directly Monday, and tomorrow there will be the weekly current affair class session. But do remember how exactly you can manage this idea of the career, means overall the tribal food processing industry, food security, then the creative destruction idea, then the first topic I discussed about the ethics, how the corruption we can avoid. Okay, as an officer, study well, take festive season is almost there and it has been started. So enjoy, have a peaceful, have a sustainable Diwali, and in advance happy Diwali to all of you. Okay, Jai Hind.